Some of music's biggest names have joined forces to help honor America's patriot. On November 12th, you're going to have a chance to see their tribute. It's an all-star salute to Lee Greenwood. It'll premiere in movie theaters across the U.S. over Veterans Day 2023, just in time to honor those who served the great nation. It features multiple star-studded performances of Greenwood's music, and he's joining us now for a sneak peek. Mr. Lee Greenwood himself. Good to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love you being here. You know, listen, I'm listening to this and hearing everybody, the way they speak about you, right? You are so known for your patriotism, your love of our military, of country. I feel that is definitely on par with all of the success that you have acquired over 40 years in the music business. Do you feel that way?
Well, it sort of happened, you know, right after the release of the album You've Got a Good Love Coming, which is the first time God Bless the USA was ever heard.
Right.
We had 4 albums prior to that on MCA, and we were all struggling for attention. It was Reba McEntire, George Strait, the Oak Ridge Boys, Barbara Mandrell. We had a duet album, and suddenly USA became the song everybody wanted to hear. But after 11 #1 hits, I'm still a country act. But yes, USA became like, you're the patriot.
Yeah.
And I accept that. And so we moved from MCA to Capitol Liberty, where Garth Brooks was there, and we released the album American Patriot, which I titled because we did all of American songs. Again, that pushed me to that side where everybody said, well, you represent America.
Right.
But I think, moreover, when I look back at my history of performances, I started working for the USO when I was like 14.
Wow.
In California, where I'm from. And then the years in Vegas, wasn't a lot there until I got to Nashville and I had a career in country music. And then we went worldwide with our USO tours. There were 16 in all. And that's when I think the military suddenly wanted me to be their advocate and talk about more about them. And it does me great privilege to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I love talking about the military. I want to shout out to my wife's father, Jim Payne, who was former Army. And I'm sure you maybe get a chance to watch this network occasionally. He's just been moved from rehab to a living facility there in Mount Juliet. So hello, Jim Payne. I love you. Hope you're doing okay.
Yes, wishing you all the best from all of us here at RFD-TV. Thank you for your service, sir. Thank you, as always, as I said, for being here. And what you do, of course, musically, this big tribute concert. I cannot imagine what the experience was for you watching all of these artists, Lee Brice, Dustin Lynch, oh my gosh, Big and Rich, getting to see them sing and interpret your songs that you've made so popular through the years.
When Michael W. Smith and the Isaacs sang a song I wrote called Thank You for Changing My Life, I just sat back in awe. Jamie Johnson sang Ring on Her Finger, Time on Her Hands, which is the song, our second single release, which was the #1 record. And my wife, Kim, and I were sitting there with our sons and her father, and I couldn't believe it, you know? Sam Moore, the soul man, he got up and sang one of my songs with T. Graham Brown, and it became sort of my background, and that's more R&B and soul, which was an invention I kind of brought to Nashville and country music when I started recording. So it was fun to get part of that. But then, you know, you look at all of the vast artists. We had 40 singers that sang in this movie, which is going to air Veterans Day weekend. That's November 12th in motion pictures across theater. It is a one-time show. And with the invention of Beyonce and Taylor Swift releasing movies about a one-time performance, that's what this is. It is a one-time performance, and we want veterans across America to see it. 600 motion picture theaters. People need to go to adoptavet.com and find a way that you can send a veteran and their caregiver to one of these theaters across America. Adoptavet.com.
Adoptavet.com, $50. You're going to get to send a veteran and a +1, whether it be spouse, caretaker, whoever. And then for the donor, they actually get a copy of the DVD, which is tremendous. So they're sending somebody to enjoy it. They get to enjoy it in the comfort of their own home. And this is a win-win. Just a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and I want to thank the Dallas Cowboys for buying out 2 theaters there in the Fort Worth, Dallas area. Actually, corporations can do that. You can actually go to adoptavet.com and buy out the entire theater. And that way you can just, once we get the handle of those tickets, we get them to all veterans organizations within that area, and they get offered to go for free. So do that too.
I want to ask you, to the artists, because again, all of the hits that you've had through the years, and I think a lot of people go, oh, Lee Greenwood, God bless the USA, right? But no, there are these hits after hit. And I think when people watch it, they're going to go, oh my gosh, that was my favorite. Oh my gosh, that was my favorite. Did the artists get to choose the songs, or did you have any play in that at all?
Yeah, it was a kind of a, what do you want to do? And then we think this is what you you should do. You know, I mean, the Gatlin brothers, the Oak Ridge Boys, Crystal Gale, oh my gosh, and they all sang songs that I made hits. I was just sitting back crying. It was so beautiful.
Did you get on stage at all?
With Sam Moore, I actually did. And
okay.
of course, then I sang my signature song, USA, with the entire cast. So that was wonderful.
Just a tremendous thing, and people, again, are going to get to see this November 12th, one-time showing. For you, what's coming? I mean, you're still on the road, still doing dates. What do you have coming up as we move through the next year?
Well, we signed with a new agency, Action Entertainment Coalition, right here in Nashville, and they're about booking us all over the United States. And I told them I wanted to retire this year because it's been a long run for me. And they said, "Oh, come on, one more year, one more year." And my wife says that too. You know, don't quit. So with our 2 sons in college, I think maybe I'll do one more year. So we're just going to pursue it. You know.
I know fans are looking forward to that. They're not going to let you go, that's for sure. God bless the USA. I have heard, even when I was out there, you know, I was with Sean Hannity when we did that Freedom Tour, and I was out there with you as well. And boy, what a tremendous event those were as we, traverse across the country. But I heard so many fans say, can we get God Bless the USA on par with the same status as the national anthem? Had you heard of that movement, of people really wanting that to be an option as our national anthem? You know,
Suzanne, it really is already. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of places where there's some political pushback about, well, you can't play the national anthem here, or people kneeling for the anthem. But if you play God Bless USA, oddly enough, everybody stands up, puts their hand over their heart, and salutes. It's like, it just happened.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, that's fine. It's a privilege to be able to still sing it, too.
For our veterans, those watching, as you mentioned, you can't thank them enough, and everything that you do for them, I'm sure they are just as appreciative. Again, speak to them and hopes that they'll turn out and come see this in November 12th.
Yeah, we have, the first thing I want to do is pray for our military that's being sent into harm's way again with this conflict in the Middle East. It's unbelievable that we'd be drug into another thing, but you can't let down your allies. America's always stood for that, for freedom for other countries. We left a lot of blood on the shores of Normandy, and I hope that it doesn't get to that. We are in a different time in history where now we can use missiles instead of people, but it is an expensive war, and so we pray for our military. So all you folks who want to have a veteran come to see our movie, go to adoptavet.com, send a veteran a caregiver. Please do it.
Absolutely. This is going to be tremendous. You guys are not going to want to miss this November 12th in theaters. It is a one-time showing, so make sure you do it. Again, adoptavet.com. Always a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks.
I love you so much. Lee
Greenwood,
everybody.
Love
Stay
you too.
With us.
Thanks.